and welcome to a book review of Doctor Sax by Jack Kerouac, by self-exclaimed beat expert, that means beat expert in learning. Um, I have read a lot of Kerouac books and a couple of biographies of the Beat generation and devoted a lot of time on Wikipedia and other media to figure out what the hell those crazy ass people were doing in the 40s and 50s and 60s. So in this review, there is 6 parts. So at first I will talk about just what happens, and to be honest, if you haven't read this book yet, you can listen to that, because I'm not gonna say the ending, but also like it's just so incomprehensible. Like, the book is really difficult and weird. So to be honest, this is a book that kind of it's okay to read it after you learn everything about it. That might make it easier, especially the one storyline, the part with the werewolves and vampires and everything. That is just incomprehensible, so you might as well just watch this review first if you are planning on reading it. And also, I won't say any major spoilers when I do the short recap. Then in part 2, I will talk about his language, because that is obviously very important in the Kerouac book. Part 3, I'm gonna go deeper in what happens in the book, so maybe you don't want to listen to that, but like I still think you should, because like I don't know, maybe you don't want to, but I will say when I get there. And then part 4, I'll talk about his homosexuality. I don't know, this is kind of in part 3. It's not like super divided, but whatever, it's fun. Stay tuned for crazy ass stories about Jack Kerouac, especially, yeah. And in part 5, I will talk about the symbols. There's like basically like you should, if you're reading this book, stay aware of like the color brown, and Mary Mac the river is basically like huge themes in this book. And then part 6, final thoughts, I will talk about like what I thought of this book and everything. So what happens in Doctor Sax? Well, what happens is it's his recounting his childhood in Lowell, Massachusetts. Did I say that right? I think I did. It was the best attempt I've ever made at saying it. So this is really nice. It's kind of, Jack Kerouac has this Duluth, I did not say that right, legend, which is, he himself is called Jack Duluth in this book and a lot of other books, because most of his books are kind of biographical, and I'm really sorry I can't talk, but what I say is still good. And this is kind of the start, really, because, I mean, Visions of Gerard, I guess, is also kind of in the start, but because this is his childhood. So, and then you have Maggie Cassidy, where he's a bit older, but it's still when he's growing up there, and you meet the same characters in Maggie Cassidy as you do in Doctor Sax, but now they're teenagers instead of children like they were here. Here he is like 10, 11, 12 years old. And so this is a good book so I would say this is a good book to start on, but I also would say not, because of the language, and we'll get back to that. So he recounts his childhood, and it's like really beautiful and everything. It's just a bunch of stories, and like what he's doing, like he's playing with his friends like Vinny and GJ, which I was surprised to find out is pronounced GJ. That was not how I read it in my head, because as you can hear, I am not from America. And GJ, this is his letters. It's just spelled GJ. Very surprising for me to find out when I was doing the book review practice. And Vinny and Dickie and a lot of weirdo people, and they're really weird. They do a lot of weird stuff, silly shenanigans. So that's fun to read. The other part of this book, that I think the idea is very good, is there's this other storyline where at Snake Hill there's a castle, and there's this great world snake is sleeping below, and when it wakes up, it's going to devour the entire world. So a lot of evil beings flock to the town, like Count Condu, a vampire, and like some werewolves and gnomes and monsters and stuff, go to this town and try to poke the snake awake. And that's where Doctor Sax comes in. He is basically a chaotic neutral character he's brewing this alchemy potion or powder thingy he's trying to create, so when the great world snake awakes, he can kill it. So that's the plot, and that's it. Kind of the whole book kind of jumps back and forth to childhood regular stuff and then this magical fantasy realm, kind of like how you would, you know, how children have this imaginary world. So I like that idea. Now we're going to the language part, and basically I like the idea, but I fucking hated how it was executed. So Jack Kerouac wrote this book when he was living with William S. Burroughs in Mexico, in Mexico City in June 1952. And he was smoking marijuana and being high during writing it. And you can definitely notice that. So that is very, I would say that this book is very, it's like beat. It's very, especially, it's very Kerouac, because, you know, that's what you heard about him, that he writes on drugs, and he writes it like fast, and sometimes the chapter would stop because Burroughs would come in, and so you can notice some kind of weird chapter endings. The book is divided into chapters, but also books. So there's 7 books. So Ghost of the Pawtuckettville Night, and then the first one is kind of long. It's like 78 pages, and then book 2, A Gloomy Book Movie. And I really like the fact that there's a lot of books in this book. I mean, it's all the same book, but I like that they call this book 5, The Night the Man with the Watermelon Died. That was fucked up. We'll get to that later. And I liked it because the language is so difficult. It is really difficult to read. It's a difficult read. So going to like, oh, I'm on book 2 now. Oh, I'm on book 3 now. Like the entire book is only 219 pages long, which a page number I remember because I was like only 70 pages left, only 50 pages left, and like, I couldn't wait to finish it. I mean, I enjoyed reading it. It's just, I also couldn't wait to finish it because it was really, really tiresome. I also read it on the train because, you know, I wasn't going to read this book, but then I was like, how can I be on a train for like 8 hours and not read a Kerouac, you know? But the language is this is the essence of Kerouac. This is really just exactly what you would expect from him and what he likes. He called it like his favorite book. He said that this is the greatest book I've ever written and ever will write. And I gotta say, like, I disagree. I got some good Goodreads comments that I will comment on that talks about this, because I thought because, you know, I love reviews, which is why I'm doing one, and I thought that was just really, it really captured it was really nice. So there's 2 reviews. So the first one is, forget for the moment about On the Road. Anyone about to read Kerouac should start here. No. Where you should start is what you like. So if you're a stoner and a Buddhist, you should start in the Dharma Bums. If you kind of like weird romance and like you like sports, I don't even know the sport he's plays because I don't like sports, then you should read like Maggie Cassidy. Or if you like weird vampire stuff, I guess you should read this one. Or if you like emo stuff, read Big Sur or Desolation Angels. Start with what you think will capture you. I fell in love with Kerouac through On the Road, so I disagree with that comment. Although it is true that it's the essence, because here he continues. Dr. Sax is the crystallization of Kerouac's creating integrity and vision. That's true. It really is like exactly what he likes and wants, and you know, the whole spontaneous prose thingy is definitely going strong with this paragraph sentences and just bullcrap, basically just a bunch of like words, and oh, I got a thought, let me just derail here, let's just write about this thing. And it's very, very spontaneous prose, very stream of consciousness, exactly what he likes. And very, very, very beat, and that's it. That was his whole thing. So yeah, it is the crystallization of his creative integrity and vision. I do agree. So here his style is unencumbered by the editorial corrections that helped make On the Road a bestseller, but compromised its thematic execution, and the imagination that produced the mythical Doctor Sax is the same that, in the guise of Sal Paradise, seeks redemption. Yeah, it's Doctor Sax is mentioned in On the Road, and I don't remember that because it's been like 2 years. But and there's also some weird stuff about how it's like Dr. Sax is actually, it's called that because of Sax Roman, who wrote Fu Manchu, which is like some books, and then Dean Moriarty is like the arch nemesis, which I don't understand because he's not in the Sherlock universe, but apparently Moriarty is still the nemesis of this Fu Manchu character. I don't know. And here, revealed in its purest realization, is the source of the loss and desperation that haunts On the Road and leads to the physical, emotional, and creative breakdown in Big Sur. Its portrayal of imagination and its inevitable universal loss is an inspirational heartbreak. I mean, it's true. It's true. It is a very good Goodreads comment. So now on to the next one. Thing is, most of Kerouac's work is not linear and neat and tidy. It's poorly punctuated stream of consciousness, skipping from image to emotion to sensation. So if you think you like Kerouac because you liked On the Road, you may not like this book. And if you only like Kerouac when he's writing traditional, crafted fiction, then maybe you just don't like Kerouac. And maybe I just don't like Kerouac. I have many a times through many of his books wondered, do I really like this dude? Because it's a chore. It's a chore to get through this, and it's a chore to get through some of his other books too. But then you get all of this good stuff, like all the things I'll talk about later, that really makes it worth it. So I probably shouldn't have started with the whole language portion if I want to spread his work and make people read him, because you're gonna be so off-put by me talking about how it's just so tiring. But then you feel so good when you finish it. You're like, yeah, I did this. Now I can read other books that are real difficult but feels hella easy because I just got through this shit thing. No, I liked it. I promise I liked it. Okay, let's continue. And it's beautiful language. It is like a poem, but you might not want to do like me and just read it continuously on a train ride and then just finish it all in one sitting. Maybe you'll want to read you read a poem, you get some tea, you're some beautiful words, and instead of writing it intensely. So, not all of Kerouac's books deserve 4 or 5 stars, but this one earned it. The genius of it is that he recounts, as he were still a child, the moments in his childhood when he realized his childhood was ending, and that Dr. Sax was coming to carry him away into the rest of his life, losing a prize marble, surviving here's a spoiler. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this part because some people might not want to hear this. And he does so by recalling them using a child's unlimited sense of imagination. Yes, it's a difficult read, but I think half the thing that makes it difficult for some people is that they don't go into it with the wrong expectation. Don't expect On the Road or even visions of comedy. Expect to enter the mind of a child who sees vampires and ghosts and monsters, as well as beauty and poetry and life. And yes, that is true. There's beauty and poetry and life and vampires and monsters and ghosts and it's good. It's great. It's just it's not an easy read. Yes, correct. It's not an easy read. It's very long sentences, kind of confusing. Also, a lot of words I don't know, and I think a lot of people don't know them. I think it's not me. I don't think it's because I'm not a native English speaker, or even that I'm bad at English. I think I'm quite good at English, to be honest. I think I'm fine, but there's weird words sometimes. So, yeah, luckily it's only 219 pages and you get all those books to kind of push you forward. And so, now that I'm put you off reading it, let's go to part 3. This is a bit spoilery, but to be honest, I wouldn't mind. I mean, okay, this is a bit spoilery, to be honest. Yeah, it is a bit spoilery. But if you feel like, oh, I'm definitely gonna read it now, or if you're already read it, then continue watching. So here is all the weird stuff he did. One thing let's start on a not so weird note. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of cute. It's kind of sad. So Jack pretended to be the black thief. So he would write like letters where it's like, the black thief will like strike again, and put it on his friend Dickie's footstep, like doorstep, and then in the night he would like sneak into his garden and stuff and like steal his things, like some swimming trunks hanging to dry, and he would like go and steal them and put it in his cellar. And it was and Dickie got like really sad and like scared of the black thief, and it's like so cute, just like little Jack just running around like ah ha ha, and he wore like his sister's like huge like hat and cape and whatever, and it's I think it's cute. But then he got caught by his friend's mom, and he cried, and they all cried, and but so yeah, that had put an end to it. Now on to the weird stuff. So there was this dude named Zaza. He was almost 20 years old, and so Jack had like 4 friends. He had like, there was like Dickie, but I don't know if he hang out with him as much. GJ, the like a Greek dude. He had Vinny, who had like, his mom was crazy, and one time he like flipped up his mom's skirt, and he was like, or he looked up his mom's skirt, and he was like, "You got a great ass, ma," and she would like shriek with laughter. Apparently that's a thing she did when like his dad would do something weird. I think he would also like sexually harass her, but like it's his wife, so not really. But I mean, you can't sexually harass your wife, but she then in this case, she would just like shriek with laughter. She would like, I don't know what she did, but she would like scream, but it was like joy. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. So anyway, that's it. Vinny was his friend, and then did he have any other friends? I don't know. Like the Ploof, but they confused me. So Ploof. And so Zaza was this almost 20-year-old dude, and they were like 11, and so one of his friends like told everyone else, like one of Jack's friends told everyone like, oh, like Zaza can come 13 times a day, and no kidding. And they were like, what? And I was like, what? Like, I have heard that's a lot. And they also said, one of his friends was like, he has an endless supply of jizz, which is like, yeah, I think so. I think that's a lot, probably. And he would, I don't know, something was wrong with this dude. I don't know what, but something. He would jack off dogs, and one time he even got caught sucking up a dog under a bridge. And another really bad thing he would do is he masturbated in the living room, and Jack and his friends like stood around him and like yelled at him like, come, like, what? That's fucked up, and also kind of child sexual abuse. Like, what? That's really fucked up. Another incident involving masturbation and dead dogs is so the first time Jack, he was like 11, the first time he realized he had feelings at the tip of his peen, it was the exact moment his mother yelled up to him, "Your dog is dead." And to this he writes, Beauty is the name of his dog. Beauty dies the night I discover sex. They wonder why I'm mad. Yep, that's correct. I mean, yeah, that's no wonder you're mad. You're correct, Jack. Now, I think that was really weird for his mother to. It was really weird for her to yell at him like, "Your dog is dead." Like, what type of how is that saying? How do you tell your son your dog is dead in that way? I think that this book, as most of his books, I mean not all of his books, but this this one especially is, of course, a look into his relationship with his mother, which, if you don't know him well, was really, really weird. It was very controlling, kind of. I mean, you know what? I don't even know how to describe it. It was just, it's weird. Like, he said that his mother was the only woman he'd ever loved, which is, like, true. Like, he ended up, he lived with her a lot, and he really, really loved her. But he also, like, when she was living in his house, he wasn't allowed to have his friends over, like Allen Ginsberg Burroughs and stuff, and that's just weird. Like, he was a grown man. Like, of course, I mean, she was kind of right. They were kind of bad influences when it comes to, like, drugs and like, everything, and homosexuality. And we're getting back to that. But still, like, he was a grown adult man. Like, that was just weird, and, like, a bunch of stuff was weird. I thought that there was this one scene where he talks about how his mom had bought a Jesus cross, a black Jesus cross, and when night falls, it kind of glowed in the dark. It was kind of luminous, and I thought that was really interesting. Kind of, like, metaphorically speaking, that because he was really Catholic his entire life, and then he has this cross, and his mother bought, that really, really scared him so much that he didn't even want to sleep with the door slightly open, because then it would glow in from the hallway, and he would be so afraid of this cross. And I think that his religion kind of fucked him up. I think he was very homophobic, despite all his friends being gay, and despite being gay himself. I think he wasn't. I think it's not even controversial for me at this point to call Kerouac gay. Like, and it's not even, like, something I'm making up. I have the proof right here on page 61, because for some reason, despite never ever saying or admitting to himself that he's homosexual, or not homosexual but bisexual probably, despite never saying he's queer, despite really being queer and being around a lot of queer people, he still had this, I guess, Christian guilt probably, and just, it was wrong. Like, there was a scene where they were playing kind of homosexuality, he and his friends, when they were, like, kids, in this book too, where he was like, GJ and Jack was kind of disgusted, like, they didn't really know what's up, but they were, like, kind of disgusted, and he just continued being a homophobe despite all his gay friends. And despite this, so it was it not on page 6? No, it was not. It was on page, let me find this, because he has talked about this in Maggie Cassidy too, and I was like, God damn, stop doing this. Okay, wait, it was on page 71. So, I was in love with Ernie Mallow. It was a real love affair at 11. I tiptoed on his fence heartbreakingly across the street from school. I hurt him once with my foot on the fence. It was like hurting an angel. At Gerard's picture, I said my prayers and prayed for Ernie's love. Gerard made no move in the photo. Ernie was very beautiful to my eyes. It was before I began to distinguish between sexes. That's not an excuse to be gay. That you didn't know there were boys and girls. I mean, if I believed that pansexuality was the thing, whoops, controversial opinion, I would have said that you're pansexual if you don't know how to distinguish between sexes. That's just gay, Jack. It's just gay. You were in love with a boy. That's pretty gay, right? As a boy, being in love with a boy, that's pretty gay. That's pretty homosexual of you. Like, you're fucking gay, Jack, so I don't know. I'm just saying. Seems pretty gay to me. Like, also, like, why are you an alcoholic, Jack? Because, the Kerouacs are depressed just because, like, Blanche tried to kill herself in the river. He also writes, like, no wonder we're depressed when, like, the river is, like, looking up to us and being like, kill yourself. I mean, that is not really what what's going on, but yeah. So oh damn, I'm already on part 5, Symbols, Merrimack Brown. But I was wondering if I should check out all of these, because whenever I see a really nice quote that is too long to write down, I just put the page number. And I probably should have prepared this, but you know what? I prepared so much for this. I even made a practice video, but then it was like 40 minutes long, and I had to make another one. And I'm trying to keep this short. Oh, this is fun. This is fun wait, what is this quote? Wake up now, Jack. Face the awful world of black without your aeroplane balloons in your hands. What is this about? This is a quote that I just wrote down. How dumb. Who writes down quotes that and don't remember what it's about? Oh well. So I should have prepared this, but I prepared so much. Here. So it's a bit now it's getting real spoilery. So in book 6, I think it says IV, but I think it's the wrong way, so I'm pretty sure, no, maybe it is book 4. Okay, so in book 4, book 4 is called The Night the Man with the Watermelon Died, where he describes something I assume must have been quite traumatic for a child to experience. He describes seeing a man die. That's what happened. That is exactly what happened. A man dies. He's walking along the Merrimack River. The Merrimack River, who is very important and a symbol, with his mom, and like just chatting, talking. The moon is kind of inspiring. They're like having a nice talk about like life and philosophy and whatever. And then a man with a watermelon drops watermelons and like falls in the river. That's also his cousin tried to kill herself in, and like is apparently very, very, what's it called, like, come here, die, to the Kerouacs and stuff. And he just straight up sees a man die, and he sees his eyes, and he was like, damn, why does his eyes have to look there? And he's looking like at like white flowers. And then another dude is there, and he's like, oh damn, should we call like an ambulance? And his mom is like, no, look at him, he pissed his pants, that means he's dead, it's no use. And like, I don't know, she just seemed kind of harsh, but I mean she's right, but it's still kind of a bit harsh to just be like, whatever. Now this river, Merrimack River, is a huge thing in this book. It's mentioned like a gazillion times, and it's kind of like it's a great thing and a terrible thing. It even ends with like it's flood, like in the second to last book. In one of these books, it floods, and at first Jack is like, wow, this is so exciting, and he almost dies too, because he's like on a raft that he and his friends made, which is like, and then the rope, they tied it to a rope, and then the rope breaks and he almost dies, and it's like, god damn. Yeah, book 5, the flood. So that's kind of dramatic. So there's this river who's like really nice, and for example, Vinny moved once, and he moved, and at one point he moves closer to the river, and then he and Jack bathes like 3 times a day, and it's described really beautifully, like, oh wow, like this sounds really nice, I would love to live near this river. But then sometimes human shit would float by, causing Jack to have nightmares of swallowing human feces, and like, ugh. So basically the river is like great, beautiful, awesome, like flood, that's so super fun, but it's also like, oh yeah, saw a man die there, my cousin tried to kill herself in there, like we all want to die in there, it tried to kill us all, and it was fun, but then it was like kind of, oh, and then it almost killed me, and yeah. So you make of it. It's that's not the point of a book review. I'm supposed to tell you what all of this means. Is it like a like a this is like his childhood and he grows up, like this other book review that probably is way better than mine and didn't have to take 30 minutes, says like, it's like his childhood. Actually, I'm surprised that I thought that it would, after the flood, it would be way more like childhood is done now. And I mean, it's kind of is, but it's not like um it's a bit like he and his sisters goes to the library, and like adults, because they couldn't go to the library because like all the roads were closed, and they're like, oh, like adults, and go to the library and borrow like the brown books. He uses the color brown a lot, all the time throughout the entire book. Like everything is brown, everything is like, oh, the warm sepia tones of my childhood. So it's like it's very nice. But then the river also turns brown when it floods. So that's also kind of like beautiful, but also terrible. And oh no, my grandparents are walking downstairs. And I wanna read Doctor Sax's speech at the very end because it's great. But I cannot find exactly where he wrote it. Or where he said it. I was so sure I put it down. Why did I write down this? I also like how he writes Dr. Sax, like mad laugh. Hee 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 ha yeah. I like he writes really rhythmic. It is a good book. But I don't know why he would why I would write down that. Oh, maybe because I was like, maybe I should read this later and try to understand it. But like honestly, just no. No, fuck off, Jack. This is just like his dumb marijuana writings. I mean, he's not dumb. He's really clever and smart and whatever. But it's just, why he gotta write like this though? Be like Animal Farm and write like something real cool and funny, but in the easiest way ever. That's what we like, right? Okay. How freaking great. I cannot find this. Oh, my tea is not here. All in all, okay, let's just skip the final thoughts. All in all, I'm happy I'm done with this book. Just kidding. I like this book. I liked it. Oh, here, I also like this. Look at the face of a skeleton in the moon. This is about, look, the face of a skeleton in the moon. This is about the watermelon man who died. Oh, also, this is fun in regards to his relationship with his mother. After that, he got really afraid, of course, and so he like slept in his mom's bed, and then his sister moved to, during the night, moves to Kerouac's bed, and then they both got sick and got kind of quarantined for a week, and after that, he was not afraid of death anymore. So it's like, and you know it's fine then because he was a child, so yeah, just go and hang out with your mom a lot and be quarantined with her, and she will make you feel better. But as an adult, he basically quarantined himself as an adult too, like that's how he lived. He just with his mom a lot of the time towards the end of his life and also in the middle and everything. Oh, here's also like brown gloom of his father's drear house cellar. You can see how they uses which is another example of where you say brown gloom, but it's also like brown books, which is a good thing. And so he uses the color brown a lot in this book, and it's both good and bad, like childhood, and basically yeah, he's growing up, and after. So, spoiler warning, this is the ending. So then the world is like does awake and it's like hella huge, and he hangs out with Doctor Sax, and then Doctor Sax can't kill it, but then I guess the universe gets rid of its own shit. That's not what it said. It said something like that. And I'll be damned, he said with amazement. The universe disposes of its own evil. Because there's a giant bird appeared and snatched the snake and flew it away. And that's the ending. And I guess at some point, all of this is supposed to be a metaphor for something, like he growing up or whatever. But it's just such a bother. It's such a bother to get through. Like, don't. I mean, if you're weird, you can. Maybe you like this book. I did not like this book. I like chill books. I like. Why do I like to be Jen? I don't know. Because I like their lives. I don't really like the books. I like their lives. I think it's really interesting to learn about them as people. And to learn about them as people, I have to read their works. And it is really beautiful. Okay, it is. There's gorgeous language. And I realized I have barely not talked about like the whole ghost, or not ghost, but vampires things. But that's just because, no thank you. I didn't like it. I did not like it. It was confusing and boring and hurt my brain, and I did not like it. I did not care about it. Maybe one day in the future, when I'm a proper beat expert, I will go back to this book and dig deep and find out. But I don't know how much meaning there really is in it. Was it not just like, blah, 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 I am high, I want to write, this sounds good, this is good, this is like face value metaphor and not like anything more that I'm missing, because how could he write that when it's just a dumb way to write books. Why doesn't he like to rewrite? I get it, but like, you don't piss gold, okay? If you do, then you need to drink more water, Kerouac. Ugh. And also, you're gay. That's what. If Jack Kerouac could talk to me, I would say, it's okay, you're bisexual, get over it. It's 2019 now, I guess. I mean, you've been dead for, I don't know math, but a lot of years. And so it's okay. You can be Catholic and bisexual, at least in Norway. And I would also say stop doing drugs and drinking alcohol. It's lame now. It used to be cool, and people still think it is, but it's not. Yeah, and that's my book review, I guess. And I did it in less than 40 minutes. I'm so proud of myself. I mean, I did make a practice video that ended up also being 40 minutes, but yeah. This is what I gotta say, I guess. Let me check through my notes to see. Oh yeah. I still want to talk about how Gerard was baptized by a saint, but then the saint died before Jack was born, which I thought was funny, considering how Gerard was like, Gerard is Jack's brother who died at 9 when Jack was 4, and how he's like this perfect ghost kind of thing, and everything, and even baptized by a saint, and he asked his mom, like, was I? And his mom was like, no, he was dead by then. You were baptized by a regular person, or regular priest. And yeah, I think I talked about what I thought of this, or the main things. I mean, I guess of course I could rant about specific, like, talk about his cousin Blanche. I like his cousin Blanche. I wonder how she ended up. You know, the whole suicide girl. Oh, I also like the Ma calls for school in the morning for wild oatmeal and toast by steaming autumn mornings. So it's like, it's very beautiful. It seems like he had a good childhood. Also, he was poor, but like, you don't really notice that. And I think he also does it right. Like, I didn't know I was poor, because you don't as a child, especially if the people around you are poor. You don't really notice until you're older. So he was just playing this dumb sport game that he liked so much, but I guess it gave him a scholarship to Columbia, so all is well. But I kind of like the passages where he write about sport, but I also kind of don't like them, because I don't like them. I don't like sport, but he writes it really beautifully, and like, it's the same as Maggie. This book is similar to Maggie Cassidy. It's like a slightly more tiring Maggie Cassidy. And definitely this is the essence of Jack, but like, apparently I just don't like Jack Kerouac. I'm sorry, I don't like his writing. I'm so sorry. I love you, Jack. I love you. I wish you the best in death, but this book, god damn it. Alright. This is 40 minutes. Okay. So announcement, I'm gonna make a Beat 101 series. I'm gonna make a Beats 101 series where I start with like introduction to the Beat generation, then Jack, Burroughs, Al, and then maybe I'll continue with like Caroline, Joyce, and like go on and just make introductory videos so people can like watch something, but then I will actually plan them so they will be short because it's supposed to get people into it. This is more for people who are like, damn, I read this book and I really want to talk about it, but I can't with anyone, which is me, which is why I'm making this video, because I can't watch a video because there isn't any, so I'm making it myself, and then other people can watch this video and be like, oh man, this book. You should probably just have my videos in the background. And I'm still working on my minor characters book review. The problem is I did it way too throughout, so it's in progress. That kind of sucks. And I am taking a short break from reading Beats because I realized I'm moving to America and I haven't read Norwegian authors like Hamsun, so I need to read that, but I will sprinkle some Beats inside. Like I'll read like 2 Norwegian books and then I'll read like a Beat biography or whatever. I need to read Visions of Cody soon, but it's so long, but I love Neil. And I also want to read Visions of Gerard so I can write that Wikipedia article. I'm so hyped for that. And I'm gonna read Naked Lunch when I'm 21 in California, because then I can read it while I smoke weed, because breaking the law, that's for losers. So I have it here, but I'm waiting with this until my birthday. I don't know if I'm gonna do that on my birthday. Maybe I will. That would be kind of fun. I mean, I do have a tendency of doing dumb stuff on my birthday. I had a Harry Potter birthday when I was 18, and then a murder mystery set in medieval times with pirates also when I turned 20. So maybe I don't know if I will have any friends, and I also probably can't throw a party when I'm 21 because I can't throw a party at my dad's house, and I don't think I will have had time to move out yet. So yeah, maybe I will smoke marijuana legally and to read Naked Lunch at my birthday. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of good that I'm reading Beats because I'm improving my English for America. So, I guess I really should say subscribe if you want rambly videos. I think I have used up all my words and I can't talk anymore. There is no more words left. But if you're a Beat nerd like me, I feel like, I really hope like 60-year-old professors who study the Beat generation don't watch my videos. Or maybe they do, and they rediscovered why they started doing their PhD on the Beat gen in the first place. Because like, look at this young dumb person who's like, what, the Beat is so cool, haha, and like just loving it. Like, is this person who's watching, who's probably only my best friend in Korea, but if you are not my best friend in Korea, do you have a school assignment? Are you a Beat nerd, just a regular person, or because I am aware now that it's possible for people, I mean, I do tag my videos, but I still got made aware just recently that it's possible to watch videos because I got like a couple of comments and I was like, what? People watch this? And like subscribers. So weird. I have 6 subscribers. Ah. One of them is me. Yeah. But yeah, maybe I should make an introductory where I'm like, hello, I make rambly ass videos because my best friend likes me rambling with my life. And I tried to have a script. I have improved from my first video, and now I even have a background. I kind of put it neat. Okay, I want to make this 45 minutes exactly, so I'm gonna bye now.